Hello, good morning, dear Nigerians. Thank you for joining us on Dawn on VOS TV Niger. Dawn is your daily window into stories that are shaping our nation and the world at large. Here, contest means issues, headlines means analysis, and issues that matter are discussed beyond the surface. Welcome on Dawn. My name is Jude Aweke. Of course, I'm not in the studio alone. I'm flanked by my fantastic and ever insightful colleague, Felicia. Complete it. Complete it.
It is always a pleasure having you introduce me because I love the way you stress on the name.
That's how you call your name.
Though I'm not flabbergasted, so you don't start feeling, oh yeah, you're doing a great job. You still have a lot to do in terms of the name.
That is how she calls her name, Felicia Udeshi.
Yes, hello viewers and welcome to the Tuesday's edition of Dawn on VOS TV, the morning show where we give you all the insight into the everyday as it hot. Yes, now we can bring them to you. Hot, freshly served, just like, hot tea and bread with egg, a bit of on bread is what we do here at VOS TV. We bring you the gist as it is fresh. So here is where you get all the fresh gist. It's an amazing time here again, and we hope to keep you informed to kickstart your day on a very good note. So stay with us. I remain Felicia Udeji.
Yes, let's set the ball rolling by exposing you to what the national dailies are saying this morning. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Alright, thank you for staying there on the program. Yes, this is the newspaper review segment. Let's see what Vanguard is saying this morning. So the first story there says visa fraud overstays by Nigerians may attract stricter scrutiny, says US. US is warning Nigerians. WOS MOU with Abu Dhabi Ports, Mal Group, Tinubu hails Nigeria, UAE industrial breakthrough. 2027 political class leveraging cures to undermine elections, says Itodo. And the major story there tells us that the Electoral Act hide and seek game in Abuja as reps avoid joint meeting. It has several riders, and the first one here says meeting rescheduled to late night at Senate President's Lodge in Maitama. How to make electronic election transmission of results glitches free in 2027. Tackle this means inadequate infrastructure claim of Senate as half-truth. Says Nigeria has capacity to transmit election results real time. Haunted by 2023 glitches, stakeholders demand guarantees, not promises. Now to tidy up Electoral Act Amendment Bill today. Another story there says 2027, Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs demands review of election timetable. Social media network S back online after global outrage. EFCC squeezes El-Rufia over alleged 432 billion naira fraud. And also, 3 South Africans charged over murder of Nigerian boat driver. Those are some of the stories that I'm making with on Vanguard this morning. Of course, there are other stories, so you can get a copy of the Vanguard to see them. Let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. And the first story, which is the major story there, says 2027 protesters storm National Assembly as debate on the Electoral Act resumes. ISWAP commander killed in Borno as U.S. sanctions 8 Nigerians over link to Boko Haram and cybercrime. Rising insecurity heightens concern in South-South. Kwankwasia defectors, APC adopt 60-40 formula in Kano. All right, relief for Nigerians as food inflation eases to single digits after 10 years. Also, another story there says, civil society organizations rally, demand updates, due process in El-Rufia's probes. So those are some of the stories in the Guardian newspaper this morning. So you can get a copy and see them for yourself. So Felicia, let's take a look at some of the stories that are making wave this morning. First, the 2027 elections. That is fast approaching. Protesters storming the National Assembly. The debate continues on the electoral amendment. What is actually happening? The Senate, the committee that was set up by the Senate, we had to meet with the House of Reps. You can see that what do you think is happening?
Well, this old drama just shows that the Senate are not ready to take responsibility and, of course, to put into action the wills of the people, the demands of the people. Because I don't see any reason, they didn't give us any tangible reason why the meeting couldn't hold yesterday, why they had to shift it to the Vice President's house. Why hold a public...
Senate President's
Senate
lodge.
President, thank you.
Yes.
So why do they have to shift it to his place? Why not hold it at the place it was scheduled to hold? I know, yes, there was protest yesterday, but the protest did not stop the emergency plenary. So why should the protest stop their sitting yesterday? And I love the fact that Nigerians are demanding their rights. Nigerians are demanding that due process be carried out as regards the Electoral Act. It shows that I won't say for the first time, because we've always made our demands known, but I just think the intensity this time around is actually very pronounced. So I love the fact that Nigerians are telling the Senate that this is what we want, this is what must be done, our demands must be met. It's either you do what we say or we'll continue to protest. So as regards that, the Senate should do the needful with immediate effect. And it will also go a long way to help INEC to fix issues before the election. So by then, INEC are clear on what they need to do and what they need not to do. Because as of now, it's still debatable. So INEC cannot say, okay, this is what we need to get. This is what we don't need to get. Yes, the budget has been proposed, but
yes,
it still lies in the hand of the Senate to help INEC fasten up preparations.
It's really, it calls for concern, because we don't understand what the legislators, they are trivializing this issue. This is a very serious issue. We're talking about elections here, yes, and they are making it look as if it's their personal business. This has to do with millions of Nigerians. So they should do the needful. There's still time for them to do the needful and, set all the gray areas.
Yeah, cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
It's really calling for concern. So they should do the needful. Now let's talk about, the election timetable that has been fixed by the INEC, though tentative. The National Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs in Nigeria, they are calling for, they want the INEC to revisit the timetable because it's clashing with Ramadan.
Yeah.
So what's your view on this too?
Well, it's needful. It's just like the guest we had yesterday said. When issues of religion comes into play, I mean, these are things that can easily be set in. It's a timetable that can easily be adjusted. Either it's moved forward or it's moved backward. I saw a report on Punch yesterday where it was written that there's a probability that INEC might move it to February 13.
Yes.
And immediately my reaction was like, what? A day before Valentine? Are you serious?
Why are you concerned about Valentine? We are talking about elections. You are concerned about it.
Well, everyone has their concerns, so that was just what came to my mind yesterday. But on a more serious note, as far as this has to do with a religious celebration,
yes,
and it will affect the number of turnouts,
yes, exactly.
turnouts, INEC has to do the needful by adjusting the timetable. And I know that if the budget is released on time, it will actually give them the willpower to put all machineries in place to ensure the smooth preparations ahead of the 2027 elections.
Yes, the truth is that, we have millions of Nigerians who are Muslims, and if this election is not rescheduled, and it will affect it, because they are Muslims and they have Ramadan period. This Ramadan period is a period of piety, period of prayer, fasting. So there's need for the umpire to really do the needful by rescheduling it. Let's take a look at the inflation, a persistent fall. Do you think it's a slight relief?
Well, one thing about this relief we keep hearing on the headlines is that it does not really reflect in the market. I don't know if you go to the market to buy things. Like, there was a time I read over the news that tomato, there was bumper harvest in tomato, which means that there will be a reduction in the price of tomato. Though, yes, we did feel that going to the market, the tomato you buy at 500 is no longer 500, at least it's now more. But most of the times, this relief, we don't feel it in the market. The average Nigerian, the average market woman out there, the civil servant that goes to the market to buy things, they don't really feel this relief. So we are asking, beyond these headlines, beyond what we see in the papers, we want to be able to feel this relief. The driver on the street wants to be able to feel that, okay, when they say fuel has come down, you should be able to get it at a cheaper price in the fuel station. Not go to the fuel station and it still remains the same or it's even higher. I recall the time when Dangote mandated that fuel be brought down to 7 something. I went out for a reaction and a lot of drivers were telling me their deal, how they still buy fuel at 900 and something at different fuel stations. So beyond the headlines, we want these reliefs to be felt because we are not eating paper.
Exactly.
We are not living paper, we are living in real life.
Exactly. So now let's take a look at the issue of El-Rufia. 432 billion naira, though alleged fraud. And it's the EFCC is inviting him, so he's clashing with the EFCC at the moment. How do you see this? We keep having cases of corruption, reoccurring. Isn't this worrisome?
Indeed. Corruption in Nigeria.
Yes. Coupled with the fact that Nigeria emerged 142nd as the most corrupt country.
And cases like this are what puts us on the indices for us to continue to dwindle in terms of our position. Cases like this do. Though, yes, it's still in court, it has not been proven, but when the average Nigerian hears 432 billion. That's a huge amount.
And we keep complaining that this country, the economy is bad,
there's
no money, there's no this, and we see this whooping sum.
So where is the
being
where did
allegedly
all this money come
looted?
From? Where did it come
being
from?
Allegedly embezzled, siphoned.
The question
Yeah, we're
the
getting
average
it wrong.
Nigerian
Is
will
it that
now ask is,
the
where is all this money coming from? In the same economy where we say the economy is crippled, the prices of things are going up, where they will tell us that so amount of money is not enough to buy an SUV for the presidential, is it right now? Yes. So we are asking,
do you know the most?
when are we going to get it right when it comes to persecuting these persons? Because it's one thing for the EFCC, the ICPC, to tell us, okay, these persons have been figured as they misappropriated funds while they were in office, they looted money, but we've never really seen one or two of these individuals who are not just charged to court, but they are found guilty and they are persecuted.
Do you even know the most worrisome? The most worrisome in this is that when these people are being questioned, you see their supporters reducing such questioning to political witch hunts. Do you see? They don't even want anything like investigation. They don't want that to be investigated.
But that still raises another question, because we have to look at issues objectively. In as much as these are political office holders who have been in power, before anybody can be said to be guilty, the person has to be tried and evidence given. So some Nigerians are, why is it that when it is the person is anti the ruling government, that is when this person is figured out? So we cannot also outrightly outrule the point of political witch hunting. So I cannot say categorically, because some Nigerians have argued that these allegations, are they in quotes independent? Are they, these interrogations, this probing, how independent are they? How can we be sure that it is not because this person is anti-government, that is why this person is being probed? Because we've seen a situation where the sins of some were forgiven.
Let me tell you, is that even the issue? Whether anti-government or not, probe is probe. It doesn't reduce, it doesn't eliminate the fact that there is an issue of alleged corruption. So such should be investigated, irrespective of party divides, irrespective of religious affiliations, irrespective of tribe. Let's set aside all these sentiments and do the right thing. That is why Nigeria is going backward. We heard during the probe of the former governor of Edo State here, Godwin Obaseki, when they were probing him over the Mowa saga and Radisson Blue Hotel, that he allegedly ceded to his cronies. You heard some people saying, Gbebolo is wishing
there are lots of
Obaseki
they
because
say,
of.
but at this
Is
point,
that the issue?
speaking about corruption,
We are talking about
speaking about probing, that will be our
we should set
focus
aside all of these fallacies
of discourse today. That will be our focus of discourse today. Wherever you're watching us from, I would like you to indicate, tell us where you're watching us from, and do well to drop a comment and like this live video, because we'll be taking your comments as the discussion progresses. This is just one segment of the show. Other segments are coming up next, so stay with us, do not go anywhere. But let us know in the comment section where you are watching us from, which part of Edo State, which part of Nigeria you are watching us from. Would really love to read from you this morning.
Exactly. Stay tuned, don't go away. Next is the discussion segment of the program.
I think VOS TV Nanja.
Welcome to the business segment.
Continue now.
Welcome to the business segment of our morning. I am Christabel Brown. The Naira on Monday climbed to a 2-year high of 1,347 Naira 78 kobo per dollar in the official foreign exchange markets, further narrowing the spread with the black markets. Data published by Central Bank of Nigeria showed that the Naira appreciated by 7.64 kobo, representing a gain of 0.57%. This is the highest in the last 2 years. The development is expected to boost investors' confidence and ease business activities in the country. Moving on, Dangote Group has assigned a $400 million agreement with China's construction company to acquire advanced construction equipment as it escalates the expansion of its petroleum refinery and border industrial operations. The deal, which supports the expansion of the Dangote petroleum refinery and petrochemicals from its current capacity of 650 barrels per day to 1.4 million barrels per day, a scale that would position it as the largest refinery in the world. The expansion program also includes a major increase in petrochemical outputs. Poly production will rise from 900 metric tons per year to 2.4 metric tons annually. The expansion form part of Dangote's group border ambition to build a 100 billion enterprise by 2030, driven by a large-scale industrial project and regional market expansion. Finally, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria is set to shop for a credit facility to establish its $10 billion refinery. The move is sequel to recent adjustments in the markets from the bulk suppliers. IPMAN National President Alhaji Abubakar Megdagi noted that the easiest way out of the volatility of the IPMAN to build and operate its refinery in the country. According to him, the refinery and petrochemical company are to be sited in Akwa Ibom State. Abubakar also said the association will present the proposal and request for credit facility to President Tinubu in March. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, said the country's hosting of the African Monetary Institution will place it as the center of Africa's coming. Monetary union and strengthen its influence in designing the continent's single currency system. Speaking on the developments, Cardoso described the decision as one with strong value for both Nigeria and Africa, noting that it confirms Nigeria's growing role in shaping continent's financial directions. The CBN governor praised the outcome of the 39th ordinary section of the Assembly of the African Union, AU, held during February 2026 summits. This is the size of our business news this morning. The morning show will continue in a jiffy. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back. It is still Dawn on your darling station. Yes, this is Dawn on VOS TV, the morning show where we keep you informed of every current happening in Nigeria, in Edo State, and around the world. And I remain your host, Felicia Udeji. This is the discussion segment. Recall that in our newspaper review, we talked about the 432 billion naira corruption case against Nasir El-Rufia, former governor of Kaduna State. Yesterday, there was a massive protest at the headquarters of the EFCC in Abuja, where thousands of Nigerians protested for the immediate prosecution of the governor over the 432 billion naira corruption case. When headlines like this make the news, to the average Nigerian, the average market woman, the bus driver, the youth, the civil servant, this is not just a political case. It has gone beyond that and become personal. Why? Because to them, this is money that can be used to build roads. This is money that can be used to build schools, to build markets, and to make lives better for the average Nigerian. Today, we'll be talking about this corruption case, what it means politically, what it means legally, and what it means for the average Nigerian out there. And we'll love to hear from you. Would love you to contribute to this conversation, because a conversation is not complete until those who are listening have their take. We'd love to have what you would say concerning this. But I'm not alone in the studio. Joining me to do justice to this very topic concerning this corruption case against former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufia, is a civil society advocate, activist, I beg your pardon, one I love to refer to as the voice of the masses. His voice is If you hear his voice, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one and only Comrade Solomon Ijobe.
My pleasure, good morning. It's my pleasure to be here. And viewers at home, a very good morning this morning from Benin.
It's a pleasure to have you join us this morning.
Sincerely.
Okay, Comrade, I would start with this question. We saw a protest yesterday at the EFCC headquarters with thousands of Nigerians. I think I even saw children as well join the protest, demanding the persecution of Nasir El-Rufia. But his own camp is calling this a political witch hunt. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, it's political game. Until he was in ADC, his sins were forgiven.
Wow.
And then now that he has jumped ship, his sins are no longer forgiven. You mentioned that there were children, women and children, whether pro or against. That's enough to tell you that those crowds you saw were higher crowd. What does really portray? What do they really know? Those who came out protesting for or against. If you're in this country, you understand what protest is these days. Especially when it has to do with politicians, not organized by organized civil society.
So you're saying that this is not a protest for justice?
No, it isn't. It's a higher purchase thing. Ask any of those ones carrying placards if they understand what's even written on the placard they are carrying. It's not an organic protestation. It's not an organic crusade. You saw people went to National Assembly to protest that the electronic transmission of results is
should be made
mandatory. Should be made mandatory. They knew what they were saying. You interview anybody there, they'll be able to relate to you what they meant, what they understood, and what they want. You understand? You saw some some political names who want to now become relevant, who before now had joined to steal our money, even took railway from Nigeria to Niger. They did no railway from Abuja to Port Harcourt. When they were ministers for transportation, they were busy looting our money, buying railways that were abandoned in India since 1914, even before Lord Lugard came to amalgamate. That's the one they went by, and then the ones now saying, they say you will leave our children. I brought my son. How is your son politically relevant in the scheme of things? My son is a medical doctor. You have told us that he doesn't live here. He's not a part of us. So, but that's just by the wayside. What I'm trying to say is that that is not to say that Malam Nasir El-Rufia is a saint. Neither am I saying that the federal government is just nor unjust. Now, yes, it is right to fight those who are seen siphoning the collective patrimony of the Nigerian people. Now you they call them for our collective patrimony, whether you like them or not. Now our money, now that what they sweat for. But come to look at it. Is anything actually different from Nasir El-Rufia and Reno Mokri? Because
some will argue that Reno Mokri has never been a public official. Well, like in the context of being a governor, and there are no cases against him.
What's public official? I'm talking about those who are supposed to be critics, who are supposed to be talking for the people, and are using for self enrichment. That's what we are talking about. I'm not asking you whether he is being. You don't need to be a governor or a senator to be a looter of public funds. No? Some will say we didn't vote for him as an appointee. Did he loot? Did he loot as a minister? Did he loot as a councillor? Did he loot, as an SSO, as an executive director? Did he loot? Did he loot as a permanent secretary? Did he loot as a director? Did he loot as a common civil servant? Those are the questions that. So for me, Reno Mokri is not different because they were the ones who were talking about Itunubu. We also have them here in Edo State, many who said this current administration, now that they are feeding, they are observing table manners. You know, when a politician who was talking from all sides of his mouth, now start talking from one side, you know that he's eating, so he's trying to observe table manner. What I'm saying that, and that I have not dropped, is El-Rufia was part of those initially handpicked to serve as minister. And then when he didn't pass the ministerial screening, he had a reason to quarrel. That is to say that he was one of those who supported Mr. President to be in power. And because the balls are not rolling his way, he decided to start talking. When they were appointing him, he was enlisted or shortlisted as those to be screened for ministerial position. They didn't know he was owing, or he had embezzled, or he has stolen, or he has theft 432 billion. But now that he has cross-carpeted, you understand, to another diversional crusaders, then it is now that they don't know that he has a case to answer. So what is really, who is EFCC? What is really EFCC? I talked about the dogs in the animal farms the other day.
Yes,
I'm sure that's actually what they are. Anybody who criticizes the government, they go after them. They go and look at your record and dust it. So until he decamped to ADC, he didn't steal 432 billion.
All right, thank you so much, comrade. Yes, for those just joining us, this is the discussion segment of the show Dawn on VOS TV. And currently we are talking about a very crucial topic, looking at the 432 billion naira corruption allegation against the former governor of Kaduna State, yes, Malam Nasir El-Rufia. What does this mean politically? What does this mean legally? And what does this mean for the average Nigerian who is watching us right now? To the market woman, to the trader, to the business person, to the civil servant on the street. When you hear about headlines like this, what comes to your mind? Because in Nigeria, they will tell us, oh, the economy is crippling, But here is a case of 432 billion naira against one man. While some on one hand are saying that justice must be done, he must be probed according to the protest of yesterday, others are saying this is a political witch hunt, that the only reason that EFCC are coming after him is because he has cross-carpeted, according to my special guest here, Solomon Ijogbe, who is joining me to unpack this conversation this morning. So for you watching us, what do you think? Do you think that EFCC probing of Nasir El-Rufia is a call for justice, a call for our leaders to be more accountable? Or you think that this is just a political witch hunt, since he has cross-carpeted from the ruling party to the ADC, that this is just their own way of hunting and going after him? This is the conversation we're having this morning. We'd love to hear from you, so do well to drop your comments in the comment section, as I'll be reading your comments on the show. Another guest will be joining us very soon. But right now, let me come back to you, comrade. So with what you just said, are you saying that investigations like this in Nigeria are not entirely independent?
No, they are not.
Looking at not just this case.
Oh, of course. No political cross-examination, political investigation that can be said to be independent. It obviously has on that one. And look at the case of PDP versus PDP, the Wike versus the other group. You want to say it was an independent whatever. So it's all, let me tell you, if the same El-Rufia behaves like a mockery tomorrow, and they start to say, it was a wrong perception, because it's not hard, words are not hard for them. I was quoted out of context. What I meant to say was that Buhari looted our funds, and Tinubu did not go after the dead Buhari, and that was what I was trying to say. this 432 billion naira, will be forgiven. It will just be swept under the carpet. So, is it not the same Kogi State governor that was said to have stolen so much money that the same administration is preparing to take up the Senate seat against Udwana, Natasha Akpoti? So what are we saying? There's no transparency. If for real the government is sincere about corruption cases, in fact, give of course another courtroom for trial of corruption cases. Have a timeline for such trials. Be deliberate about the trials. Tell me how many. I'm not talking of what do they call it? This EFCC plea bargain. Okay. I'm not talking about plea bargain.
Okay.
I'm talking of how many real cases have EFCC really prosecuted and got people convicted without plea bargain.
Let me pause you there, comrade. We'll go on a quick break, and when we'll come back, our other guests will be joining us on the show. We're still talking about the 432 billion naira corruption charge against Nasir El-Rufia. So when we go on a quick break, we'll be right back. Just stay with us.
By this time, these people are not here. Is this supposed to be today? That's my special day. Which kind of wahala be this now? Where the people where you call for camera now? See people don't sit down, they wait. I never see cameraman by this time. Make me tire you, I beg. You don't know you supposed. The person where you call.
They tell me say that they say that live. I'm saying Papilo, come.
I beg, leave me. Which kind calm down be that? If now you go calm down.
See time. Party don't almost start. Today na my girl birthday. Those people cameraman. I never see that. They would call the night, no they pick. Not be laughing matter.
My brother. See, let me tell you that they say, if you want to use cameraman, call cameraman where they reliable. Use cameraman where you don't see work where they do, because what you see, they're supposed to believe. Call cameraman where get good equipment to work for you, so that if you they watch your party tomorrow, you're not going to regret the money where you spend for the party. Now make me they introduce to you that they say, call VOS television. If not be VOS, my brother, it not be like VOS. You know them, my mother burial. VOS don't be 6 o'clock till the end of the burial. From morning till night, they there with me. They are reliable, they are trusted. If not be VOS television, it not be like VOS television. As we still there, so now, time still there. It not be like VOS.
By this time, these people are not here. Is this supposed to be today? That's my special day. Which kind of wahala be this now? Where the people where you call for camera now? See people don't sit down, they wait. I never see cameraman by this time. Make me tire you, I beg. You don't know you supposed. The person where you call.
They tell me say that they say that live. I'm saying Papilo, come.
I beg, leave me. Which kind calm down be that? If now you go calm down.
See time. Party don't almost start. Today na my girl birthday. Those people cameraman. I never see that. They would call the night, no they pick. Not be laughing matter.
My brother. See, let me tell you that they say, if you want to use cameraman, call cameraman where they reliable. Use cameraman where you don't see work where they do, because what you see, they're supposed to believe. Call cameraman where get good equipment to work for you, so that if you they watch your party tomorrow, you're not going to regret the money where you spend for the party. Now make me they introduce to you that they say, call VOS television. If not be VOS, my brother, it not be like VOS. You know them, my mother burial. VOS don't be 6 o'clock till the end of the burial. From morning till night, they're there with me. They are reliable, they are trusted. If not be VOS television, it not be like VOS television. As we still there, so now, time still there.
Okay, welcome back, viewers. It is still the discussion segment of Dawn on VOS TV, and we are talking about the 332 billion naira corruption case against Malam Nasir El-Rufia, former governor of Kaduna State. I remember before the break I told you that a second guest will be joining us on the program. Our second guest is a legal practitioner and a politician who will be helping us to look at it from a legal and a political perspective. Yes, I'm talking about the one and only Barrister Richard Ofiemo.
Thank you so much, and thank you, viewers, for having me here on this program this morning.
It's really a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So, Barrister, looking at it from a legal point of view, when Nigeria are hearing figures like this, what comes to their mind is, so this is where the money in our country is going to. At what point can these allegations translate into criminal cases?
Well, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, by our constitution, has the responsibility of investigating financial crimes. And if such huge sums of funds, are alleged to have been stolen or mismanaged by any individual, they have that responsibility to investigate it. And if they find enough evidence, then they charge that person to the courts.
Okay, thank you. But a lot of persons are seeing this from another perspective other than just seeking justice. Some persons are saying this is more of a political witch hunt, and that our independent bodies put up to probe these cases are not so independent. So these investigations are not all independent.
Well, that is another discussion entirely. I won't subscribe to that fact that it is just a political witch hunting. The fact that El-Rufia happened to have been in the ruling party before this time and defected out of the party does not mean that if he has committed any crime or if there's any suspicion that he should not be investigated. If even the president of this country commits an offense, nobody is above the law. So the law enforcement agents have that responsibility of investigating that person.
So in your opinion, you are saying this is not a political witch hunt?
I don't see it as a political witch hunt. Because if we say it's a political witch hunt, there have been a lot of persons, maybe one or the other, that had committed crimes. And the fact that, let's take for instance, maybe people go out to steal. The fact that one person escapes judgment doesn't mean that any other person could not still be held from the same offense. But you also look at it, look at situations like Yaya Bello, Governor Yaya Bello, who one way or the other offended EFCC, how one way or the other tried to escape judgment. I think that is what is now bringing to fore that people are now thinking that it is selective persecution or political persecution.
Interesting. All right, thank you so much, Barrister. Now coming to you, Comrade Solomon. Let's take a look at the airport drama that played out, where EFCC attempted to arrest Nasir El-Rufia, and in the process, they seized his visa, thereby stopping him from traveling. As a civil society activist, do you think that EFCC actually followed due process in doing this? And did they trample on El-Rufia's fundamental rights?
If a case was established against him and they did that, they would not have trampled on his fundamental rights. That you cornered him in a commando style at the airports was totally an infringement. What the law provides for is that if somebody is suspected to have committed an offense, you invite him officially. And if he refuses the invitation, you cannot use other means necessary within the ambit of the law, including taking a court order. You had no right whatsoever to assist his passport without a court order. That's an aberration. That was an infringement on his rights. And like I said earlier, all these are political boo-boo here. Where was this 432 billion before now when El-Rufia was in APC? He didn't steal the 432 billion. Were there no allegations of El-Rufia funding terrorism act in this country when he was in APC? He was a saint. Now that he has jumped ship to another divisive campaign group, he has now become a sinner. point being made here is that the government wish to be sincere about corruption cases. They should be sincere. We will see it. We will know it. Because Bible says by their fruit you shall know them. But when somebody comes after your government by way of escalating issues that you wanted to sweep under the carpet, now he has told them now that he has brought them out. Oh. He said, no be Oluna sabi tap for me too. I dey tap. I don't tap my own. You tap my own. I tap your own.
We'll definitely.
So
we'll definitely.
point being made. Does two wrongs actually make a right? No, it doesn't. But the fact is that he knows what he's saying. He's a player. He was one of those who funded the campaigns. He was one of the very few northern elites or northern politicians who supported Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his bid to becoming president in his Emilio Con's agenda. And when he didn't get the ministerial ticket, he became angry. And that's what's
playing out.
Was playing out.
Right,
and now,
right.
let me tell you, okay. Nigeria, if you are a politician, you occupy political office, you are a senator. Your sins will just be covered. I'll give you an instance. A friend of mine came to me around last week of December. But he had a problem. He needed to sell his car. He advertised to sell one of the SSAs to the current governor in charge of scrap. Collected the car and offered to pay him 7 million. It's a Sienna bus, this bigger one. And then they asked him to bring the keys and every relevant whatever. It was handed over. And he said, okay, drop your account number, transfer the money, go and prepare the transfer of ownership, which he went. Coming back to come and make him sign the agreement was to no avail. The guy kept playing him up and down since 18th of December till as we speak. In fact, the guy boasted that there's no security agency you take me to that can do anything, and we tried.
Okay, now
so point I'm trying to make is that when people get opportunity to be in government, they become so untouchable. If Nasiru El-Rufia was still in yes,
party.
another political campaigners, he would have been a saint. This 432 billion corruption case would not have even been mentioned.
All right.
See Yaya Bello now.
All right. I would like to, at this point, take comments from our viewers online. Let's hear what they have to say concerning this particular issue. If they are agreeing with our guest here on their points, or what exactly do you have to say as regards this? So, first of all, I'd like to appreciate those joining us. Peter Happy, thank you for joining us. MC Papilo, Joel Collins TV, thank you for joining us. Ibrahim of Baxi. And MC Papilo is saying here that nobody is above the law. It's just a saying in Nigeria. Ex-presidents can never be arrested no matter the levels of crime. Then Musa Tijani says Nigeria is not a normal country like every other. So, looking at what MC Papilo is saying, that nobody is actually above the law, that even ex-presidents cannot be arrested.
He didn't say nobody's above the law. He said it's just a saying that everybody, that people can be above the law, and that's actually how it is.
So, barrister, looking at his statements, are you agreeing that in Nigeria currently our leaders cannot be persecuted with the justice system we have?
I don't subscribe to that fact that our leaders cannot be prosecuted if they have committed any offense against the Nigerian state. The issue is the process. The people entrusted with it, are they really doing it? That is the issue. Whether are the people courageous enough to bring to book those leaders who, one way or the other, have infracted or committed offense against the Nigerian state. The Constitution provides that there's nobody that is above the Nigerian law. Everybody, one way or the other, could be brought to book. Let's look at many people that have been in government before. Darie, who was former governor of Plateau State, at one time was also tried and imprisoned. Let's look at former governor Ibori, though not in Nigeria, but was also brought to book. There are quite a number of them that will also be brought to. But what we need to do, what I think the Nigerian law enforcement agents, they need to be more proactive. They need to show that they have courage to be able to bring people to book, especially when it relates to issues of corruption that one way or the other people do not buy, buy their way out of the arms of the law enforcement agents.
All right, thank you very much. I will still start off with you on this question. On the final note, we know that Nigerians are watching. They are not just expecting this to be a noise, but they're expecting answers. So what should Nigerians be watching out for in this case to ensure that justice is properly done?
Well, what will the Nigerian people do in terms of trying to... It's just like we are discussing this now, and the Nigerian people are becoming aware of what is going on, and this discussion should be everywhere. I don't see what the Nigerian people could do in trying to ensure that justice is served. But most importantly, is for them to be able to see how is this matter going to be rested. Finally, whether or not it will. If proven, whether he will be charged to court and the necessary instrument of law, put against him. There have been other persons. I remember there are situations where certain persons who presided over even Edo State at one time, there have been petitioned to the EFCC. I think there are a lot of them. They have a lot of those just in the EFCC.
All right, thank you so much, yes. Barrister. So, in 2 sentences, comrade, what can the Nigerian do to ensure that this justice is served, and it's not just a political witch hunt?
You're acting like a Nigerian now. You're asking me to answer everything in 2 sentences.
I am a Nigerian.
Which is actually not doable. You see, the truth is, running off, is that nothing is working in Nigeria. The justice system is a problem. Until we're able to fix the judicial system, the justice system in Nigeria, we may not be able to move forward. Because when people commit crime, they can always pay their way out. That's a major problem. And so the legislative part cannot do well, because when they know that they can buy their way, the executive will influence them. So it's been, 3 arms of government that is steering the other 3 tiers of government. You understand? I must say this. If we continue like this, there will be no hope. But again, the Nigerian people must wake up to continue to ask not just questions, but relevant questions.
All right. So
and they must continue to act in the way that is collective for the development of the Nigerian state. But again, let me say this. Nigerian politicians are totally immune. When you are a governor, you have immunity. You cannot be tried until when you leave.
Thank you so much.
Politicians are totally immune.
Thank you so much, Comrade Solomon. Thank you so much, Barrister Richard, for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
And we'll call it a wrap on that. In Comrade Solomon's voice, Nigerians need to ask not just questions, but relevant ones. So we want to say a very big thank you to everyone who joined us live on the show. Tomorrow is another edition. Do well to join us, 9 a.m. every day. Till I reach your way again tomorrow, I remain Felicia Udeji saying bye for now.
By this time, these people are not here. Is it supposed to be today? That's my special day. Which kind of wahala be this now? Where the people where you call for camera now? See people don't sit down, they wait. And never see cameraman by this time. When you tire, you are beg. You don't know, so you supposed. The person where you call,
they tell me say that they say they're liable. MC Papilo, call.
Leave me. Which kind calm down be that? If now you go calm down.
See time. Party don't almost start. Today na my girl birthday. Those people cameraman, I never see that. They would call the night, no they pick. Not be laughing matter.
My brother. See, we tell you that they say, if you want to use cameramen, call cameramen where they reliable. Use cameramen where you don't see work when they do, because what you see, they're supposed to believe. Call cameramen where get good equipment to work for you, so that if you they watch your party tomorrow, you're not going to regret the money where you spend for the party. Now make me they introduce to you that they say, call VOS television. If not be VOS, my brother, it not be like VOS. You know them, my mother burial. VOS don't be 6 o'clock till the end of the burial. From morning till night, they there with me. They are reliable, they are trusted. If not be VOS television, it not be like VOS television. As we still there, so now time still there. VOS. E no fit be like VOS.